Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I want to ask this question. Is jiu-jitsu really good for the streets? I would say yes and no. I have used jiu-jitsu to subdue people while I was waiting for help, assistance, even for the cops to show up. Nothing like that's pain compliant, but take it to the ground and wait, side control type of stuff, or full mount, and not anything of manipulation or strangulation, nothing like that. I definitely do not condone that. But let's say this is a regular situation and your cousin boyfriend is acting a fool at the family barbecue, or you catch David Ruffin treating Terrell bad on the Temptation movie. You have to step in. Is jiu-jitsu good for the ground? I mean, for the streets? Yes and no. The theory of it is yes, if you know what you're doing, close guard, spider guard, lasso, Kimura, stuff like that. But imagine if you're doing a leg triangle choke. I was thinking, if I'm beginning to think you setting up, I'm like, oh shit. And let's say I have no fighting experience, I'm gonna bite your leg. This sounds disgusting. I may stick my hand up your anal area, or pinch, or when people are trying to fight for survival, all of this becomes a weapon, and jiu-jitsu, I don't know how to necessarily know how to use it, prepared to fight dirty. We think we're gonna close guard, or but I saw this meme of, jiu-jitsu today is they go down in butterfly position and wait for their opponent. If I see that, I'm gonna kick your head off, or better yet, I may, have a weapon and I'm gonna go in. So, like anything, if you practice it enough, you'll find a way to do it in self-defense. And I think in all martial arts, we don't practice enough for real life situation. I dare to say my karate, we practice more real life situation by far than jiu-jitsu. Cause and I'm saying this respectfully, a lot of jiu-jitsu just prepare for tournaments. And they don't have a class for just self-defense, like jiu-jitsu for self-defense. Some places like Gracie's do. The Gracie's may have something where they are fighting. I mean, they have a curriculum just for self-defense for the streets. And then what if that person got partners? Are you really gonna close guard on somebody who got cousin Timmy, or his out of control crazy girlfriend who's smacking, or pepper spray? Anything can happen in the streets, right? And for me, I keep a karambit knife, or a tactical pen, you doing jiu-jitsu, I'm going to go tactical with pins and pressure point. And if I go through bones and flesh, so be it. Or unfortunately, this is weapons. You gotta keep that in mind as you're doing self-defense. So, like anything, if you practice it for real life, you know, you can make it adaptable. Everything, the longer you train, and I train in many things, the more I'm seeing it be able to apply it in real life situation. That's just the beauty of when you kind of cross train so much, you see everything in every style. In karate, we call it shuto-uke, which is this movement. But in jiu-jitsu, you can just basically close, you know, what it's called baseball choke. Basically, this is the baseball choke, and you just turn your elbow. But it's kind of the same motion, and you know, if you do it right and you cross collar with this hand and go against the throat on the ground, you can choke somebody out, and that's basically a simple shoto-uke. It's a push-pull. So if you push one thing and pull the other, something's going to hurt. That's just the general move. So, you know, it works, but nobody gonna fight dirty. I mean, nobody gonna fight dirty. Nobody gonna fight clean. Nobody gonna let you guillotine choke them. You know, if I'm in a situation and I see a bottle, guess what? That person gonna say, you know what? I'm not gonna use this bottle because I'm gonna do it the right way, and we gonna just, you know, fisticuff. And, you know, the better man win. Some people do that. You know, some people got that type of system. But we live in the B society where everybody complains and talk about tough. And then the moment something happens, they be the first one, you know, one call police or got cameras to videotape, or worse, their girlfriend or their partner is going to record, right? So that's the generation we live in. You just got to. That's just the way it is. Some cities, you know, they just like, yo, I meet you back here, and then whatever happens. But that's very rare. Everybody don't fight fair. So jiu-jitsu, you know, you gotta modify. If you doing jiu-jitsu right, you can kind of protect yourself, but you gotta know when. Some jiu-jitsu, it's not gonna work. I guess, you know your limitations. That's not going to be multiple partners. It's not designed for multiple partners. One-on-one, and that's God help you. If they have a knife, or yet you have a gun. You ain't no martial arts that's strong enough to take on a gun outside of Silat and Eskrima and knife fighting type of martial arts like FMLA, not Family Medical Leave Act, but Filipino martial art, which specialize with weapons. And not saying other martial arts don't, but they are probably the most famous for knife fighting. So, you know, unless you face them, and if I was facing them and I'm in close quarters, I would be very scared because they master the weapons. They master it. So I would not want to face them in a close hardcore combat, but if they don't have that type of skill set, then I would do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or any type of ground fighting, and then and you use that. And more people know if you have Jiu-Jitsu and they have no experience, you are better than the average, because I have literally used Jiu-Jitsu to save my life, literally maybe 2 or 3 times, and to subdue people that was bigger than me. So I know the power of Jiu-Jitsu. But like any system, nothing's perfect, right? So, all right, guys, have a good one.